For years, cabbage had an image problem. It was the vegetable people associated with watery soup, heavy school dinners, or a forgotten half head slowly drying out in the refrigerator. But in 2026, something unusual is happening. Cabbage is being roasted until its edges turn dark and crisp. It is appearing in creamy pasta sauces, stuffed dumplings, chopped salads, restaurant centerpieces, fermented foods, and millions of home cooking videos. So, how did one of the most ordinary vegetables become one of the year's most talked about ingredients? The answer is not one single viral recipe. It is a combination of affordability, versatility, nutrition, visual appeal, and changing attitudes toward humble food. One of the clearest signals came from Pinterest's trend predictions for 2026. The platform reported growing searches for several cabbage dishes. Searches for cabbage dumplings had increased by 110%. Searches for Polish-style stuffed cabbage soup by 95%, and searches for cabbage Alfredo by 45%. Interest was also rising in sautéed bok choy and fermented cabbage. Food publications had already noticed the change. In early 2025, Food and Wine highlighted internet-inspired techniques including braised cabbage, fried cabbage, chopped cabbage salads, cabbage rolls, and thick roasted cabbage steaks. By 2026, the trend had expanded further. Cabbage was showing up not only in recipe feeds, but also in restaurant dishes, lifestyle media, gardening, and even cabbage-shaped ceramics and home decor. But cabbage has not really returned from nowhere. Around the world, it never disappeared. In Korea, Napa cabbage is fermented to make many forms of kimchi. In Germany and Central Europe, finely cut cabbage becomes sauerkraut. Poland has gołąbki, cabbage leaves wrapped around a filling, often made with meat and rice. Japan has okonomiyaki, a savory pancake commonly packed with shredded cabbage. India has cabbage stir-fries, curries, pakoras, and stuffed breads. In the American South, cabbage may be slowly fried with onion, seasoning, and bacon. That global history gives cabbage something many temporary food trends lack: hundreds of established ways to prepare it. It can be eaten raw, pickled, steamed, boiled, grilled, roasted, fried, braised, stuffed, or fermented. Slice it finely and it stays crisp. Cook it quickly and it softens while keeping some bite. Cook it slowly and its firm leaves become silky and sweet. The transformation is partly chemical. Raw cabbage contains sulfur-based compounds called glucosinolates, which are common in cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and Brussels sprouts. These compounds contribute to cabbage's sharp, sometimes slightly bitter character. Cutting, chewing, fermenting, and cooking change how these compounds break down and how the vegetable tastes. High heat creates another transformation. When cabbage is roasted or seared, its surface loses moisture and begins to brown. The result is very different from boiled cabbage: crisp edges, concentrated sweetness, and deeper savory flavors. That contrast looks good on camera too. A cross-section of red cabbage creates a purple and white pattern. Savoy cabbage has deeply wrinkled leaves. Napa cabbage is pale and elongated. Pointed cabbage forms a cone. Thick green wedges can be charred almost black on the outside while becoming tender in the center. For recipe creators, cabbage offers color, texture, dramatic before and after shots, and an audible crunch. In the visual language of social media, those qualities matter. Price is another major reason for its appeal. Food trends often focus on premium ingredients, but cabbage can create a large number of servings from one relatively inexpensive head. USDA price research has repeatedly placed green cabbage among the more affordable fresh vegetables per edible cup. It is also practical. A whole cabbage is dense and comparatively durable. Stored correctly in the refrigerator, firm green or red cabbage can remain usable considerably longer than many delicate leafy vegetables. That gives home cooks more time to turn one purchase into slaw, stir-fry, soup, tacos, dumplings, or a roasted side dish. Then there is nutrition. Cabbage is low in calories and supplies fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and other micronutrients. Its fiber can support normal digestion, while fermented cabbage products may contain live microorganisms when they have not been pasteurized after fermentation. But cabbage is not a miracle food, and fermentation does not automatically make every product probiotic. Some shelf-stable products are heated, which can kill live cultures. Cabbage can also cause gas or digestive discomfort for some people, especially when a large amount is added to the diet suddenly. Research into glucosinolates and their breakdown products is ongoing. Scientists have found interesting biological effects, but the evidence does not justify claiming that cabbage prevents or cures disease. Its strongest proven role is simpler. It is a nutritious vegetable that can help create a varied, fiber-rich diet. Cabbage also fits several wider food movements at the same time. People are looking for lower-cost ingredients. Fermented foods remain popular. Traditional recipes are being rediscovered. Vegetable-centered meals are becoming more creative. And online cooks are increasingly treating ordinary staples as ingredients worthy of restaurant-style techniques. That is why cabbage can become creamy pasta, crispy fritters, smoky grilled wedges, spicy kimchi, refreshing slaw, or a complete stuffed meal without losing its identity. The so-called Cabbage Crush of 2026 is therefore less about inventing something new and more about finally noticing what was already there. Cabbage is cheap enough for everyday cooking, sturdy enough to keep, nutritious enough to feel practical, and adaptable enough to move between cuisines. Most importantly, it changes dramatically depending on what you do to it. Raw, it crunches. Fermented, it turns sour and complex. Roasted, it becomes sweet and caramelized. Braised, it becomes soft and rich. And shredded into a salad, it can remain crisp long after lettuce has wilted. The humble cabbage did not suddenly become a different vegetable. We simply started treating it differently.